Hey folks, welcome back to the B-Movie Bunker. Today we're looking at, this little film done by J.J. Abrams called The Force Awakens. It's the newest in the Star Wars franchise. How was it? I'm not going to be spoilery here. I'm going to be doing that coming up on Monday with another podcast called The Spoiler Room. This is going to be a spoiler-free little my first thoughts of the film. In short, I liked it, I enjoyed it, I had fun watching it. However, I was not blown away. And this is partly, I think, just because there's that little bit of me that nothing will ever truly recapture the first time I saw Star Wars, when I saw it in the theater as a kid. Nothing will take me back to that, and it will be as groundbreaking as that original movie was. That means I'm setting kind of a high bar for all future films. I understand that. However, I will say this. There's the saying, of how you can't go home again. You know what? You can. You can go home again. Yes, it's not going to be the same home you left all those years ago, but there's still a little bit of comfort you get in going back there. And that's what you get from this movie. You get that comfort where it feels like a Star Wars movie, more like an Empire Strikes Back than the other ones, because you actually have dialogue, you have words coming out of people's mouths that people would actually say, as opposed to something that just simply is an utterance of statements to take you from point A to point B. You have people having conversations that actually sound like conversations people would have. And you also get characters. You get characters that are not simply there as set dressing. They are not simply, pieces used by George Lucas to tell his broader story. These are people who have their own stories, which is part of the larger story. I think the characters of Rey and Finn, played by Daisy Ridley and John Boyega, I think they have good background to them. There's something that actually motivates them other than they are, parts of the plot. And I like the way that they interact with the film and with each other. There's great interaction with people in this movie, and you don't get that much outside of Empire Strikes Back. And I keep going back to that one because I think this one feels not quite to the level that Empire did, but the fact that you have someone, Lucas writing the dialogue, first of all, that is a huge thing. But I think you've just got that concept where there's more of the story, and it's not just this action set piece, that has a story there, but it's mostly about spaceships and lasers and lightsabers. Yes, you get plenty of action in this one, but there's more to it than that. You're back in that universe, the Star Wars universe that I myself loved as a kid, and yes, as much as I disliked the prequels, there was that long, dark period that we had with Star Wars, and you're starting to see a resurgence of stuff with now Force Awakens, and you have the what I think is very enjoyable Star Wars Rebels show going on now. There were a lot of people who were kind of wishy-washy and on the fence when Disney bought up Lucasfilm. I initially thought it was a fantastic idea because, one, I think they have done although they've declined a bit, a good job with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but also the fact that Disney doesn't like to fail. They like to do things that create lifetime customers, and they want people to be there forever so that they can do their little things of hey, Star Wars Force Awakens, 15, 20 years from now, they'll be like, it's going to go back in the vault. If you don't buy it now, it's going to go in the vault for a while. You won't be able to get it, although you will because internet. And Disney wants to be the company that you go to for your entertainment needs. That's what they want. And as a result, you're going to get, at the very least, enjoyable films. Now, do I think that this is a great film? No. I think it's a good film. It's a fun film. It's an enjoyable film. You enjoy it while you're watching it. I had a couple little moments where I was a little critical of the film during the film, but most of my critical thinking of the film happened after. It's still happening now, and I can pick apart any of the Star Wars movies to a degree. That's kind of what I do. I like to take the fun I have and destroy it. That's something I do for myself. I try to ruin all the fun I've had in my past. I remember when the prequels came out and people were all complaining, myself included, about how George Lucas pooped on our memories. No, while he did make some awful movies, the one who was pooping on my memories was me, because the memories I still have. No one can take those away from me except me. So, and I'm rambling a bit here, but I think that's kind of the point, is that there's been such a long history of Star Wars, especially for me. It's almost my entire life. At 44 years old, almost 40 years of this has been in some way influenced and affected by Star Wars. And I finally have something that I can say, all right, this was fun. Will I watch it to the degree that I watched the original Star Wars films? No. Nothing will ever come back to that level where I can say, I have seen that movie over 100 times. Nothing will ever approach that. And that's because when Star Wars came out, it was truly groundbreaking. It was truly something very, very original from anything we had seen before. And part of that is why they can't go back to that. You can't break the same ground again. You can further it, you can advance it, but it's already been done to a degree. So now everything you do is, to a degree, a facsimile of that original. And as much as I said, you can go home again, it's never quite the same as the first time. So that's all I really got for this one. I'm not going to do a scale of 1 to 10, except to say that, if you're a Star Wars fan at all, I think you'll be pleased and at least entertained while watching the movie. And then when you get home, you'll start to go, oh, well, this part was annoying, or this was annoying. Why would this person do this? But that's what we do. We take the things we love and we try to find flaws in them, because nothing can live up to the expectations that we create in our minds, generally. So, till next time, stay safe out there in the wasteland, folks.